Screens aren't just babysitters, they're neurological hijackers. By the time your child turns 5, they may have spent more time in front of a screen than playing outside. The device in your child's hands right now is rewiring their brain in ways we're only beginning to understand.
Off devices.
No, give it!
Tantrums after their parents have taken them away.
I hate you!
The average child now spends over 7 hours daily staring at screens, more time than they spend sleeping. Kids with devices in their bedrooms lose 1 hour of sleep nightly. Sleep Foundation.
Researchers with the American Academy of Pediatrics say some kids are spending as many as 7 hours a day in front of screens, and the unhealthy habit can turn into a screen addiction.
New research by Common Sense Media finds that by age 2, 40% of children have their own tablet. By 4 years old, more than half do. Children under 2 are averaging an hour of screen time every day. Ages 2 to 4, over 2 hours of screen time, and 5 to 8-year-olds are spending, on average, around 3.5 hours on a screen. But what if I told you it's not just about screen time? It's about how screens are designed to hijack your child's brain. What's truly disturbing is that the same tech executives who invented these devices are also sending their children to schools with no screens. They hire nannies who sign contracts prohibiting the use of phones. They know something we don't. This isn't just about screen time, it's about saving childhood. Technology is being used to amuse and appease children. However, this is also recognizable. When the devices are taken away, there are massive meltdowns. In actuality, their responses are signs of internet addiction illness, one of the main medical conditions of our kind. What if the devices that connect, entertain, and educate our children also quietly hijacking their brains? The device in your child's hands right now is rewiring their brain in ways we're only beginning to understand. By the time you finish this documentary, millions of kids worldwide will have spent another collective century staring at screens. But behind every swipe, scroll, and ping, there's a story of brain chemistry. Childhoods interrupted, and lives fundamentally shaped by technology. In early studies, Chinese researchers compared brain scans of average adolescent internet users to internet-addicted adolescents. In red, you can see the affected areas of the addict's brain. Areas responsible for decision-making, emotions, and self-control. Screen addiction distorts the same brain function as alcohol, drugs, and gambling. Today, we explore how fast-paced apps, endless scrolling, and addictive design can rewire young brains, and what parents and educators need to know right now. Every like, every level up, every autoplay video triggers a dopamine rush, the same chemical behind gambling and drug addiction. Between the ages of 0 and 12, the brain is wiring itself for life. However, studies show that screens are altering this wiring, shrinking gray matter, diminishing attention spans, stunting emotional growth. Kids with 2 hours per day of screens score lower on thinking tests. NIH study. Blue light from screens tricks the brain into thinking it's daytime, suppressing melatonin, the hormone that makes us sleep. Teen depression and suicide rates have skyrocketed, and the timing matches. The rise of smartphones.
We've never seen a generation this anxious, lonely, and fragile. Social media is the smoking of our era.
From birth to about age 12, children's brains are building executive functions, impulse control, attention, and emotional regulation. But screen use floods the reward system before the control center is mature. That matters because early years are when neural wiring becomes permanent. A brain shaped by real-life interactions builds differently than one shaped by endlessly flicking fingers. Teen girls who use Instagram daily are 3x more likely to develop depression. Facebook's own research, leaked in 2021, interactive platforms trigger unpredictable reward loops. Each like, swipe, or new video is a microdose of dopamine. Children's brains are particularly vulnerable to these artificial surges. Devices flood children with dopamine, like gambling or drug addiction, leading to reward desensitization and motivational impairments. Popcorn. Brain, a term coined to describe brains overstimulated by fragmented digital content. Screens in evening hours suppress melatonin release, delaying sleep onset and shrinking REM cycles essential for memory and emotional processing. Kids with bedtime screen access are sleep deprived, affecting mood and school performance. Lack of sleep compounds, attention issues, and physical strain from screen-gazing ads, headaches, musculoskeletal slouching, and declining vision. Higher screen time correlates with rising anxiety, depression, and loneliness, especially during early adolescence. Students in screen-free schools showed 20% higher test scores. Education Week. Children under 5 are especially vulnerable. Passive screen viewing often replaces exploratory play. Brains need real-world textures, voices, movement to wire correctly. It's not simply about how long children are on screens, but what content, interaction, and whether adult co-viewing is present.
It's just designed to lock the kids in, and their brains aren't developed for that yet. They're supposed to be playing, using their hands, and exploring at those ages, not locked into a screen. Their brains don't know what to do with that stuff yet.
The American Academy of Pediatrics provides clear, science-based guidelines. No screens before 18 months. Limited high-quality content from 18 to 24 months. And no more than 1 hour daily for children 2 to 5 years old. Progressive schools are pioneering approaches that harness technology's benefits while protecting developing minds. Screen time monitoring apps, content filters, and scheduled device shutdowns can help families regain control. Our kids' brains are being rewired, not by chance, but by design. But we can fight back. Try a screen-free weekend with your family. Remember, childhood is too precious to be spent behind a screen. The choice isn't between progress and primitivism. It's between intentional technology use and being used by technology. TikTok's For You page uses AI to exploit teenage psychology. WSJ investigation. You're not alone in this challenge. Millions of parents are recognizing that the most powerful gift we can give our children is our intentional attention and boundaries that protect their developing minds. The brain that forms in childhood becomes the foundation for everything that follows. Relationships, career success, mental health, and the ability to find meaning and joy in life. Your child's brain is still forming. Every choice you make today shapes the mind they'll have tomorrow. Choose wisely, because childhood only happens once. Make it count.
If there's any change in mood or any change in anxiety, or especially if you're trying to get your child off of the video games, that you see that they become explosive or they have a really strong attachment to these video games.
Create screen-free zones. No devices at meals, in bedrooms, or during quiet time. Model this as adults. Place. Don't just remove. Encourage outdoor play, sports, arts, hobbies, and real-world interaction. Engage. Don't just police. Co-view when possible. Discuss what kids see and do online. This isn't about demonizing technology. It's about safeguarding young brains from engineered overstimulation. This isn't about banning screens. It's about protecting developing brains. Have you ever opened Instagram for just 5 minutes and lost an hour? What if I told you your attention span is being stolen, one scroll at a time? This isn't just entertainment, this is manipulation by design. The algorithms know you better than you know yourself, and they're using it against you. The average person spends 2.5 hours daily on social media. That's over 5 years of your life. By age 70, we think we're in control. We think we're connected. But behind every swipe is a system designed not to serve you, but to shape you. Right now, as you watch this video, there's something else competing for your attention. Maybe it's a notification from Instagram, a buzz from TikTok, the red badge on your Twitter app, silently demanding to be acknowledged. These platforms have spent billions of dollars studying your brain. mapping your desires and engineering systems designed with one singular goal: to capture and hold your attention at any cost. 210 million people worldwide suffer from some form of internet and social media addiction. Algorithms track every like, share, watch time, and even how long you hesitate on a post. Social media platforms are free, but only in price. Because when you're not paying for the product, you are the product. Recommendation engines predict your behavior with eerie precision. They don't just react, they shape your desires. Tech designers study behavioral psychology to engineer addiction. They optimize features to hijack your brain's reward system. Millions of people, especially teens, are experiencing social media like a drug. Over 50% of teens feel addicted to their phones. Common Sense Media, 2024. We've never been more connected, yet we've never felt so alone. Social media use is strongly associated with increased loneliness. University of Pennsylvania, 2023. Instagram knows it harms teen girls. Internal study finds, Wall Street Journal, 2021. Algorithms feed you more of what you already believe and filter out what you don't. We're not just losing our time, we're losing our shared reality. To understand how social media has hijacked our minds, we need to start with a chemical: dopamine. It's not just the feel-good neurotransmitter. It's the foundation of human motivation, the chemical that drives us to seek, to hunt, to achieve.
So I look at my phone and I see somebody tag me on a photo. What happens? I get a little burst of dopamine in the reward pathway in my brain. That's where pleasure comes from, right? Like that's where I experience like that little zing, like, ooh, cool. And it feels really good. It's not as exciting as it was the first time. That's the brain changing in response to that pleasurable experience. I get my photo tagged. I'm like, and that comes because not as much dopamine was released, right?
For decades, casinos perfected the art of dopamine manipulation. Flashing lights, the unpredictable rewards, the near misses that keep you pulling the lever. But now that same psychological playbook has been digitized and put in your pocket. When you get a like on Instagram or a heart on TikTok, your brain releases dopamine in the same regions activated by cocaine, gambling, and other addictive substances. The anticipation of receiving likes, comments, or shares alone activates your brain's reward pathways, creating what neuroscientists call the dopamine feedback loop. Your brain learns to crave the next notification, the next like, the next comment. And just like any addiction, you need more to get the same high. This is why you find yourself checking your phone even when there are no notifications. Your brain is jonesing for its next fix. Users' brains never register completion when scrolling through infinite feeds. The anticipation of what's next keeps dopamine levels elevated, creating a state similar to that experienced by gamblers during slot machine sessions. Autoplay videos mean you never have to decide to watch the next piece of content. It starts automatically, hooking your attention before your rational mind can intervene. Perhaps most tragically, heavy social media use is associated with weaker, real-world relationships. People report feeling lonelier, less empathetic, and less skilled at face-to-face communication. We're more connected than ever, yet more isolated than previous generations. Social media platforms are free to use because you're not the customer, you're the product. Your attention, your data, and your behavioral patterns are packaged and sold to advertisers who pay premium prices for access to your eyeballs. The more addicted users become, the more valuable they are to advertisers. This creates a perverse incentive where platforms profit from user dysfunction. The competition isn't just between social media platforms, it's between every app, website, and digital service, fighting for your finite attention. Netflix competes with Facebook, which competes with TikTok, which competes with YouTube. Each platform must become more engaging and addictive to survive. Some countries have taken stronger action. The European Union's Digital Services Act requires platforms to assess and mitigate risks to mental health. China limits social media usage for minors. But in most of the world, these platforms operate with minimal oversight, free to experiment on human psychology at an unprecedented scale. Breaking free from social media addiction isn't about perfect abstinence. It's about intentional usage. Start with immediate environmental changes. Turn off all non-essential notifications. Remove social media apps from your home screen. Use your phone's built-in screen time controls to set daily limits on problematic apps. These create friction that allows your rational mind time to intervene. Modify your physical environment. Charge your phone outside your bedroom. Create phone-free zones during meals and family time. Small environmental changes can dramatically reduce unconscious usage. Replace social media time with activities that provide genuine satisfaction. Share your goals with friends and family. Some people find success with social media fasting, taking regular breaks from platforms to reset their relationship with them. Therapists specializing in technology, addiction use cognitive behavioral therapy and other evidence-based treatments. Support groups for technology addiction exist both online and in person. Success comes from gradual implementation, not dramatic elimination. Start with one change. Master that change for a week, then add another modification. Sustainable change happens slowly. The goal isn't to become a digital hermit. It's to use technology as a tool for your goals, rather than allowing it to manipulate your behavior. Many people find that once they break free from compulsive usage, they can maintain healthy boundaries while still benefiting from technology's genuine advantages.